Live Hurricane Delta update. Hello and welcome to WKP. Today we're going to be tracking Hurricane Delta, which has winds of 90 miles per hour right now, is a Category 1, pressure of 979 millibars, and its current status is weakening. Even though you won't see the 90 mile an hour wind pressure on the National Hurricane Center, I've been watching a site that updates every 15 minutes. And that is what we're seeing right now, so it's weakening quite quickly. If you have any questions about Delta, ask them during the stream, and I'll answer them at the end of the stream on this thing. In case you old-timers don't know what this is, that is a phone. Okay, so let's get right into this stream. This is Delta on radar, and as you can see, still quite compact, and there's still quite a lot of convection still with it, actually quite a bit for a small Category 1 hurricane, and Delta is officially moving off land right now and is going to affect that tiny little island right there. So if you live on that island, I'm not sure what its name is, but if you live there, please keep an eye out because that's going to be affecting you soon. Here's the track for Delta, and as you can see, there is a hurricane watch, it looks like, and in Louisiana, and we're going to be seeing, and there's still a hurricane warning up in Mexico, and there are also some tropical storm warnings over in Louisiana. We're going to be seeing this thing possibly get to a major hurricane, though I don't think it'll stay a major hurricane for very long because the water temperatures aren't very warm. So here's the U.S. rainfall potential for this storm, and as you can see, not much. And why are we not going to get very much rain with this storm? Well, it's going to be a very, very fast-moving storm. It'll be here and out, basically like it happened in Mexico. It hit this morning, and it's leaving this afternoon. So that's what we should be expecting for Louisiana, though I forgot from where, that it could slow down a bit. Here's the peak storm surge, 7 to 11 feet. Though if this storm only comes in at a strong Category 1 or Category 2, like I'm predicting it will, we likely won't see that much storm surge. It'll probably be cut in half. But right now, the National Hurricane Center has around 4 to 7 feet in Cameron. So Cameron, Louisiana, you're going to be hit again, sadly. And Texas, down to about Houston, is going to receive 1 to 3 feet. Port O'Connor, 1 to 3 feet. 4 to 6 feet in port. Ocean Springs, 2 to 4 feet, and it looks like we could see some storm surge in that oh man. I forgot the name of the big city there in Louisiana, but up in here you could see some storm surge, so that is not very good. New Orleans, that's right, New Orleans could see some storm surge. Here's the models for this storm, and as you can see, the center is just off of Mexico right there. This is the windy weather map, which is a really nice weather map to use. So this is the GFS model. What we're going to be seeing throughout the week is we're basically going to be seeing Delta go off there and is going to get a little more strong. And as you can see, as we go on out through the week, Delta starts to strengthen quite rapidly in this area, especially because there is some warm waters in that area. And as you can see, very, very nice looking hurricane once Delta gets out into the Gulf. But once Delta gets closer to landfall, Delta is going to start falling apart. The GFS isn't showing that, but that is likely because, take a look at this. These are some cold water. Well, not cold waters, but these waters are not warm enough for a hurricane. As you can see, once it leaves land, it's going to be in some warm water, so it'll have some time to strengthen, possibly back up to a weak Category 3, but then it's going to be hitting them warm waters, and it's just not going to handle. Even though it's going to be moving very fast, I still think those waters will have an effect on it, and we'll see it probably not be as strong as it is expected to be on landfall right now. I think we'll see a weak Category 1 or a mild Category 2, anywhere from 90 mile an hour winds to probably around 105 mile an hour winds on landfall, though those are still very strong and nothing to mess with. I just don't think we're going to see this storm get as big as they're predicting. I think the peak in the Gulf will be around 115 miles an hour, which is a weak Category 3. So let's take a look at the tracks for this storm, and as you can see, the tracks are very, very much in agreement. perfect agreement almost. Look at that. Landfall in Cameron. Though Louisiana could be seeing some effects, this storm is going to expand over the Gulf, and it's possible that we could see some strong winds, probably anywhere from Louisiana down to Texas is where we're going to be seeing strong winds, and the outer bands are also going to cause some strong winds. Those outer bands will likely be hitting Mississippi, Alabama, and possibly the Florida Panhandle. And as you can see, we're going to be seeing this storm move up into Tennessee and then way out over the Great Lakes. Though this storm will be a hurricane up until around here, and by Jackson, Mississippi, will be a strong tropical storm. And the reason it's not going to weaken over land very quickly is because of that speed. We're going to be tracking the very, very strong speeds with the storm. Yeah, we're going to be tracking that because that's really going to decide how strong the storm gets and how fast it's going to get through the places where it hits. Here's the intensity guidance for the storm. As you can see, most models only have this getting to around a medium Cat 2 in peak strength, and this is over the Gulf, to a strong, or to a Category 3. One model has a strong Category 3, another has a Category 4. That is looking less and less likely, and as you can see, after that landfall, right before landfall, that weakening, and then landfall, just drops down really, really quickly. So we're going to see it weaken quite quickly, but because it's moving fast, even though it'll be weakening quickly, because it's moving fast, it'll still be quite strong inland. That was a lot to grasp, I'm quite sure, because I stuttered over it a little bit. So let's take a look at the wind history for the storm, and as you can see, a lot of, well, not really a big wind swath for that hurricane force wind. And I also want to take a look at the arrival time of winds because this is quite important. By Thursday, 8 p.m., Louisiana, Texas, and possibly Mississippi will be feeling a little bit of the winds. Probably the peak winds will happen around Friday when that storm will be moving inland or making landfall. Here's the wind speed probabilities, and as you can see, the wind speed probabilities are getting really, really wide. It's looking like parts of Cameron are going to be in 90% chance of tropical storm force wind or above, and anywhere from around Texas, the border of Texas and Louisiana, to around New Orleans could experience 60 to 70% or above chance of seeing tropical storm force winds. So we're definitely going to be tracking those. Tropical storm force winds could extend as far as Mississippi, where they could experience a 30 to 40% chance of seeing those winds. So gusty winds for Louisiana, and definitely some rain and storms I would expect for Louisiana, and down as far as Corpus Christi in Texas could experience some of those storms and possibly a little bit of gusty wind. And I also want to take a look at what we're going to be seeing for the hurricane wind speed probability, and as you can see, not very strong. We're going to be seeing likely hurricane wind speed probability out over the ocean, 70 to 80%, and as landfall comes in, around 40 to 50% chance. So it's looking like we won't see a very strong hurricane on landfall. Let's take a look and refresh this page. And it looks like the track hasn't changed, though I do believe the newest track